Hi guys, welcome back and welcome to a new video. Today we have a new Hot Topics video. I'm really excited to do this video because I have lots of thoughts and opinions on it. It's about luxury influencers, keeping up with the Joneses, and why luxury influencers are not relatable and why it doesn't matter that they're not relatable. Okay, I rarely get very personal in my videos. I don't share a lot of personal stuff about myself, but in this video I'm going to break with tradition a little bit. I'm going to share a few personal stories to kind of back up my points that I'm going to be making in the video. So I really hope you like this video. I was hesitating on filming this video for YouTube because YouTube these days has a trolling problem. So please share your opinions. I'd love to know what you think, but please be kind in the comments and please don't name drop anyone in the comments. It's not a personal attack on any influencer, any YouTuber, any vlogger, Instagrammer. It's just talking about luxury influencers as a whole. And I'm not only talking about luxury fashion, I'm talking about luxury car influencers because I follow a lot of them. I'm talking about luxury watch influencers. I'm also talking about people who post the housing tours and things like that because I've been watching a lot of those. Okay, all right, let's get started. The first thing that we're going to discuss in this topic about luxury influencers not being relatable is the concept of money envy. According to a survey by NerdWallet, they found that 54% of Americans who have admitted to having money envy said that it had an impact on their mental health, and a lot of Americans have also reported feeling guilty about spending money, but feeling like they basically had to spend it because they had money envy. I will link a video about money envy below so you can watch it. I thought it was a very interesting concept. I definitely think it's real, and I think it's okay for all of us to put our hands up and say maybe you had a moment where you felt like, oh, I feel a little pang of jealousy or a little pang of envy when you see someone have something really nice that you have and maybe you want to have it as well. That is normal and it is something which all humans feel. It doesn't necessarily have to be luxury goods. It could be something else that you are passionate about. Now, where it becomes serious is based on what the NerdWallet survey was saying about it impacting your mental health. It shouldn't impact your mental health. It's one thing to see something really nice that someone has and to be like, oh my God, I'd love to have one as well. And then you don't think about it again. Okay, and then you're just not even worried about it. It's another thing to kind of feel money envy and then to start comparing yourself to that person and start wondering how much you have and all the rest of it. Now, I watch a lot of luxury YouTubers, I watch a lot of luxury TikTokers, I watch luxury YouTubers of all stripes, not just fashion. Fashion is not the only part of luxury YouTube. There are car influencers who post about luxury cars, there are timepiece influencers, watch influencers who post about luxury watches as well. And something which I have found, particularly on luxury fashion YouTube pages, there'll always be comments from people saying things like this. I've seen these comments on so many people's pages, such as people say things like, how can you afford this lifestyle? I earn more than $200,000 a year, or I earn more than 150,000 euros a year, and I can't shop like you. Or how did you make your money? My husband, or my boyfriend does really well, and I can't afford this lifestyle. He can't afford this lifestyle. You need. Or this is my favorite one. I know lots of people who are really rich, who are millionaires, and they don't shop like you. So how can you afford this lifestyle? Now, unfortunately, all of those comments are from people who I think are suffering not just from money envy, but luxury envy. I think luxury envy is definitely a thing. And I think in the past few years, as the luxury haul videos have been really popular on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, it is normal to watch some of those videos and be like, okay, well, am I going to have those things if you don't have them yet? Some of you already have those things, so you're not affected by it. It is normal for some people to watch those videos and feel like, okay, well, what about me? When am I going to have some of those things yet? What is not normal is to internalize that and to make that and to have that sit in your heart and make it and make it basically part of your view on luxury. So then you feel bad about yourself if you see someone doing unboxing a massive luxury haul. By the way, I love watching those luxury hauls, and I would have no issue filming one if I was ever to shop that much. I would have no issues filming something like that. But I think that people need to ask themselves, like, why do you feel that kind of like why, if you're watching that content and it makes you feel bad, ask yourself, why does it make you feel bad? Does it make you feel bad because you're comparing yourself to that person, or does it make you feel bad because maybe you're thinking about your own life and maybe you're thinking, okay, I can't shop at that level, or do you have other comments about that? So in relation to luxury influencers being relatable, luxury influencers have never been relatable. But you know who else isn't relatable? You. That's right, you who's watching this video right now. You're also not relatable. Do you know why? Because any person who has been to a luxury boutique this year, who has shopped at any of the top tier girls, any person who has luxury experiences is not relatable to the majority of people who are living in the world doing their thing. Okay, I was reading some statistics about the savings rate in the UK, and I think that they said something like 12 million people in the UK don't have any savings at all. And there were some other like statistics about savings in Britain. I was really shocked by that, because particularly for those of us in Africa, many people, you know, obviously because of our, you know, for obvious cultural and historical reasons of things that have happened, many people to this day, when someone says they're from the UK and if they're here in Tanzania, people just think they're rich because they're from Britain. People just think like, okay, that person said they're from Germany, that they're very wealthy and they're very, very rich and they have a ton of money and all the rest of it. And there was this statistic that said about 12 million Brits in the UK do not have any savings. And when I saw that statistic, I remember being like, wow, like that is really shocking to me, because even for someone like me who lived in the UK has a very robust, you know, benefit system. There's healthcare. There are a lot of, you know, great things in terms of the way people are taken care of in Britain. But the point I'm saying is, to most people, anyone who buys any luxury good or has a luxury experience is living a life that is unrelatable. So even you, if you're watching this channel and you're someone who indulges in luxury, even if you don't spend 100K a year, you don't spend 200K a year, just by the virtue of the fact that you have shopped at luxury brands, you buy luxury clothing, or you buy luxury bags or luxury watches or luxury cars, you are also unrelatable to a ton of people around the world who don't have that ability to spend like that. Whether you think your spending is small or not, don't worry, I'm not going to leave my country out of it. Okay, because you might be like, you're having a go at Western countries. Absolutely not. In my country, the annual GDP is like, I think, no, annual GDP, the annual like gross national income, like the income per person, is about $1,000 a year. So just literally $1,000 a year. So some people don't even earn $100 a month, like in my country, in terms of wages. Okay, so obviously there are people who are very wealthy. I think give or take in my country, they're like about $18,000 millionaires in my country, give or take. But then I think that we also have like about 1 million people who are like very high income as well. But the majority of people are earning about $1,000 a year. That is not a lot of money at all. So luxury here, like a luxury branded bag or a luxury timepiece, like people here don't care about that for the most part. Yes, there's a very small, like 1%, 2% of people who would know about it, but most people probably, at least in my country, wouldn't care that much. So what I'm saying is, luxury is unattainable and unrelatable for the majority of people in most countries in the world. Okay, even if you are watching this video and you think that you don't have a big luxury collection, if you have anything, if you have any luxury goods whatsoever, you are already, you yourself, the person watching, you're already unrelatable to a lot of the people in your country as well. Because if there are people who are struggling in different parts of the world, you going to Louis Vuitton to buy a key pouch, to buy a mini pochette, to buy a handbag, or to buy clothing or whatever, that is already unrelatable to a lot of people, you know? So I think this concept of relatability, I wonder whether people are using the word relatability as a euphemism for the luxury influencer is humble and is a nice person. A few years ago, I remember seeing this kind of like this theme that would pop up on social media, and it was this concept of the fact that women who are, you know, women who like to show things, and women who enjoy nice things should be humbled. and they should be humble, because like people wanted to see women be humble, but if a man would show nice things, no one wanted to humble that man. I do think that there are some themes of misogyny in this topic, because I do think that the word relatability is being used as a euphemism for humility. I think when people say I don't find that person relatable, I think what they're saying is I don't like that person anymore because they're showing that they have all of these nice things. When in most cases you might feel like, oh, I don't like that person anymore, but you yourself, you also have really nice things as well. I was watching one of these videos about this topic, and someone left a comment on another YouTuber's video. It was a very enlightening comment. And the person, they were discussing a luxury YouTuber. This is why I told you, don't mention people in the comments. Don't name drop anyone, because I have no beef at all, because I really enjoy watching haul videos and unboxing videos and things like that. So they were talking about a luxury YouTuber in the comment section of this video, and someone clearly felt insecure and felt bad about themselves that they couldn't like do unboxings like this person. And someone replied to them saying, you know, that person should know the value. People are struggling financially, people are struggling in the world, and they should know, like, they shouldn't be flaunting all their wealth with these like big massive unboxings and flaunting all the money that they have. Now, then in the same comment, the person goes on to say, I'm just paraphrasing here, that they also give gifts to their husband and to their family. Well, how is that different from the luxury YouTuber doing the massive unboxings and hauls and buying themselves beautiful things? Why is you buying a gift for your husband or your family members better or more deserving than that luxury influencer or vlogger who's doing the massive unboxings and hauls? I think we need to look into ourselves and ask ourselves, why do you want an influencer to be relatable? I've already given you my hot take, honey, which is everyone who partakes in luxury as a concept, every single person, whether you spend $1,000 a year or you spend $1 million a year, if you told a lot of people you spent $1,000 on luxury goods instead of putting that in a savings account or instead of putting that in a stock market account, if you tell people that, even if you have like millions or hundreds of thousands in investments, if you tell someone, most people, that you spent $1,000 at Louis Vuitton this year, you spent $2,000 at Louis Vuitton this year, most people will be absolutely confused and bewildered that you could drop that much money on a luxury brand, even if you have your investments sorted out. So to a lot of people, luxury shopping is unattainable and unrelatable. So I'm super curious, like, why are we creating these divisions within the luxury shopping community? Like, if you are someone who enjoys luxury brands as well, why are you creating that division between someone who unboxes and buys a lot of stuff? Because if you are still partaking in going to the boutique and luxury shopping, you are also part of the luxury shopping scene. Just because you don't spend as much money as maybe someone with a huge luxury YouTube channel, so they unbox a ton of stuff, or a huge luxury TikTok page, you're still partaking in the culture of luxury. You're still partaking in it. So why is that person who spends more like the one who kind of gets the most heat? I don't really understand it. Me personally, if you ask me, I really enjoy watching all kinds of unboxing videos. If you want to find new luxury influencers to support, I have a tip for you. If you want to find new unboxings from new people, what you do is you put luxury haul in the search bar or luxury unboxing, and then click on the search filter and put like the person who's uploaded recently. What that will do is that will allow you to find new people who are not being pushed by the YouTube algorithm. YouTube rewards larger creators first. So people who have 40,000 followers, 50,000 followers, 60,000, they're rewarded before people like us who don't have as big followings. So if you want to find new luxury YouTubers to go support who post unboxings, just take your search term and then look for the upload date, the most recent one, and then you'll find a lot of new people who are posting new things that they have purchased. I don't really understand when people get upset about this. I love seeing the new things that people buy. I will watch anyone's new purchases. You know, if I travel, I will post my purchases. So, you know, when I go to France, when I go to South Africa, of course, I'll come back buying things and I'll post them. I want to talk about something else that is part of this topic. The whole concept of keeping up with the Joneses. It actually came from a cartoon strip that came out in 1913, so it's more than 100 years old. It was an American cartoon strip. And the Joneses was this fictional family who were never seen in the cartoon strip, but they always referred to. Like Mrs. Jones has this, Mr. Jones has that, and the family who would always talk about them would feel less than because they didn't have the things that the Joneses had. Lifestyle creep is definitely a real thing, and people, it is normal, like I said, to look sometimes and be like, oh wow, that person has that thing, but that feeling should melt away after a few seconds. You shouldn't be internalizing and trying to keep up with people and living by someone else's standard, okay? One of the reasons why I love African big cats, particularly leopards and cheetahs, is they're solitary, okay? The reason why we use that term leopard on here is because female cheetahs and female leopards are solitary. They, once they have raised their cubs, they're kind of living their life, honey, on their own, and they're marching to their beat of their own drum. They're not like lions that need to be in a pride of people. They're solitary. They kind of go out and they do their own thing once they have raised their cubs and their cubs have like moved away from them. And I think that's like a good analogy for the luxury shopping scene and the luxury social media scene. Be a leopard or be a cheetah in the sense that you don't feel like you have to, you know, buy things that other people buy, but at the same time, don't begrudge people who do. I think it's possible to watch the luxury social media content and unboxings and not feel weird. I don't. I watch a lot of them and I don't feel anything, and you're going to understand why when I share some of my personal stories later on in the video. But a lot of people do feel bad because they internalize it. You shouldn't internalize it, okay? Leopards don't compare themselves to other leopards. You know why? Because the leopard themselves have a beautiful pelt with beautiful spots that are unique to them. Okay, do not compare yourself and make yourself upset comparing yourselves to people online. There's always someone who has more money than you. There's always someone who has a bigger car than you. There's always someone that has a bigger house than you have. There's always someone who has more things than you. Last year, I posted a video about us refurbing, when I say us, me and my husband, refurbing our swimming pool here in our property. And I remember being really excited to share it. So I shared the video and I remember getting a message from someone who follows me. But the message wasn't a kind message. It felt very passive aggressive, and it felt like the person was comparing themselves to me. The person said that they watched my video and that their swimming pool was bigger than mine and that they had spent 3 times what I had spent on our swimming pool. And I think I told you guys the number in the video. The number was about $30,000 to do the refurb for the pool. And I remember being so bewildered, like, why are you messaging me? Kind of trying to like boast about yours. Like, if you want to share, by all means, please go and film your own video or go post it on your own social media like profiles. I spend a lot of my time on swimming pool TikTok. I just look at other people's pools. I love getting ideas maybe for future properties that I want to build. But I was so confused by the person's tone. The person's tone was very much like, oh, you spent 30K on your pool. Well, I spent 90K and I have a much bigger pool than you. And I was like, I was so confused. I was so bewildered. I almost unlisted the video, but my husband talked me out of it because he was just like, don't let someone, and he actually, you know, had to give me a come to Jesus talk and let me know, don't let someone who's trying to compare themselves to you make you turn into them. And I was like, okay, fine. No, and I won't delete the video. And so that's what I'm saying. Comparison is the thief of joy. There's always someone who has more. There's always someone who has more than you. So you shouldn't feel the need to compare. And if you have more than someone else, you shouldn't be comparing yourself to that person as well. So the person who felt the need to send me this direct message on Instagram to tell me how they had a bigger pool than me and how they spent more money than me, I don't know if maybe that made that person feel better that day. You know, they felt better about themselves because they had more than me. But I guarantee you there's someone who has way more than that person as well. So you shouldn't internalize these things. Just focus on yourself. Remember, we're leopards, honey. We're cheetahs. We're solitary, and we focus on ourselves. By the way, male cheetahs are not solitary. Only female cheetahs are, and female leopards. Okay? The next example I want to give is a celebrity example. So, because I've researched this video, honey. Now, the Jonas Brothers, I don't listen to their music. I don't like that kind of music. However, one of the wife of the eldest brother, I think she's called Danielle, because you know her and him, they had a reality show in E! She was talking recently on a podcast, and she kind of was talking about comparing herself to her sisters-in-law. So Sophie Turner, who's married to, I think, one of the brothers, I don't even remember all their names, sorry, and Priyanka Chopra Jonas, honey, of course, former Miss World, very accomplished actress. She got her own hairline, and of course she's one of the Bulgari spokeswomen alongside Zendaya. And I think Priyanka's married to the brother called Nick. So she was kind of like comparing herself to Sansa Stark and a former Miss World, honey, and she sounded like she felt insecure, right? Her husband, who is the eldest brother, he was also on the podcast. I think he was trying to make her feel better by saying, you know, that he also sometimes felt like the odd one out because his younger brothers, you know, have endorsements and are doing all these things. I thought that was so sweet, by the way, to try and make her feel better and to try and cheer her up. But she was comparing herself because, again, it's normal to do that keeping up with the Joneses thing and to look, even within your own family, people do it, and even celebrities do it. It is normal. However, in her case, she was supporting her husband in his career in this band, obviously, of the Jonas Brothers. They've sold millions and millions and millions of records. They've had a very successful career in music. And she's part of that success because she was supporting him and raising their children. So, and there is honor in that. And that is a form of work, and that is a form of labor. You know, it's really important to note that as well about women who are full-time mums. So anyway, when I was reading like this story, because it was being covered, right, I remember thinking, wow, like this is like the celebrity version of what is going on in the luxury community when it pertains to unboxing videos and hauls, when people feel like if too many of them are posted, people feel like, you know, they can't relate to the person or they can't whatever. Now, we've already talked about that. I don't want to go into too much detail about that, but I wanted to just mention that celebrity example because I think it's important for you to see that it affects everyone, basically. The next point that I have is please do not compare yourself to Birkin bait posters. Okay, when I first started posting my Birkin bait series, I posted it because I, first of all, love knowing what people have bought for loyalty at Big H. And also it helped me understand what I needed to do. But also I think it's good for us to decrease the gatekeeping in the luxury scene. An unfortunate part of the Birkin bait series is people comparing themselves to the people who have shared their success stories. By the way, I have Birkin bait videos coming next week. You're not supposed to compare yourself. When you're watching one of my Birkin bait videos, please do not compare yourself to that person. Or if I share some Birkin bait teas, sometimes I'll post it in my Facebook group or I'll post it on Instagram. Don't compare yourself to that person, okay? It's not cool to compare because you don't know anything about that person. In a lot of these videos, I have even received comments where people have said things like, you know, you should say how much the person earns so we can understand how much they're spending relative to their income. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Knowing how much the Birkin bait poster's income is completely irrelevant. We need to know how much they spend to get their Birkin offers and their Kelly offers and their Constance offers. It doesn't matter how much someone earns relative to that, because that will just get people just end up getting attacked. You know, one reason why I'm not a support, like, you know, sometimes in the influencer space, like influencers have said how much they earn online and things like that. The reason why I'm not a supporter of that is, first of all, income changes every year, so things change in your income. If an influencer said they earned a ton of money a few years ago, they're probably earning way more right now than they ever did in the past, but people are very stuck on that number, and then people project their views on how you should spend your money. It's one thing to talk about how much people spend at Big H. Like if someone says I spend 20K or 30K or 40K, It's another thing when people say, oh, I earn, 200,000, but I spend 40K a year at Big H. There's always going to be that person saying, well, my husband or I earn way more than 200K and I've never spent 40K a year. This person should reassess themselves. That's one reason why I never bring up income. And to be clear, I've never asked a Birkin Bay poster not one day how much they earn, because it isn't relevant. And then the next thing is, don't compare yourself to a Birkin Bay poster who has spent less than you. It doesn't really matter, because generally speaking, if someone went 1-to-1 or someone went 1.5-to-1 and you went 3-to-1, unless you literally have the same essay and you're at that store, there are a lot of other variables that go into the offers. So don't compare yourself. Please don't compare. Just to be clear, I don't compare myself to anyone who's successful in Paris. If someone was successful in Paris and spent less than me, that is absolutely fine, because there'll be other things that I get from my luxury experiences where maybe I will have some kind of privilege over that person. It all kind of evens itself out. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay, now, in general, I think another thing that I wanted to say as well, don't put your assumptions of how a luxury influencer should live and compare your personal views about finance and whatever and about spending money to a luxury influencer, because you don't know that person on a personal level. Coming on here a few times a week to post videos, sometimes people think that they know you. You don't know the luxury influencer, luxury vlogger, TikToker, whomever it is, whether it's fashion, cars, or watches. You don't know that person. You don't know that person's views on a lot of things. As a general rule, I like to keep politics away from all of my platforms. I think politics is divisive. You'll always end up offending someone and hurting someone's feelings. So it's just a decision that I've made. I will speak up about certain things if I feel very well versed in the topic. So I'll talk about certain things, but generally speaking, I don't talk about political things on here. And I'm really glad I made that decision, because you'll never be able to please everyone. So you don't know people. My friends know my opinion on Palestine. They know what I think about it. My friends know my opinions on abortion. They know what I think about it. My friends know my opinion on climate change. Have I ever discussed any of those three topics in a lot of detail on here? No, I've never talked about my feelings on abortion publicly and my views on it. And it's not relevant to this channel, but I bring up those hot topics, and those are very, very important topics, and they're very important things that are going on in the world. I bring them up just to highlight to you that you don't know the luxury vloggers or luxury influencers. You just have something in common with them in terms of an interest that you have, which is luxury goods, luxury brands, luxury travel, luxury experiences. So don't hold them accountable to your sense of morality or your sense of how they should be spending their money. If you have to unfollow a luxury influencer because for whatever reason it's having a toll on your mental health, based on what we talked about previously about the money envy or luxury envy, if you have to do that, you should do that right now. You know, I remember getting an email a while ago from a Glamazon who told me that she had unfollowed a lot of luxury influencers who were unboxing a lot, and she had stopped following them, and she was just letting me know that she wasn't going to watch my videos anymore because I post a lot of preview videos, and I preview Chanel often and Louis Vuitton often. Sometimes I'll do the big H exotic videos where I tell you the new exotic colors or the new colors in general, and she felt like that was making her want to spend, so she had to stop watching my videos. I was like, that is absolutely fine, honey, that you don't want to watch my videos right now, and God willing, when you're ready to watch my videos, if I'm still posting, you can always come back and watch. It's not a problem, and you as a viewer should put yourself first when it pertains to this content creation space and consuming luxury content. You as a viewer should put yourself first. But by the same token, the luxury vlogger or luxury influencer should post the content that they want to post. If that means that person is posting a massive luxury haul, massive luxury unboxing, or luxury unboxing often, then so be it. I don't think that luxury vloggers should tone down their content. I have noticed some channels have been toning down their content. I think people should post the things that they want to post. And if you don't want to watch it, you shouldn't watch it. Okay? Don't compare because you don't know what people are going through. Now I want to give you a personal case study from my personal life. Many years ago, when I was much younger, I'm not as young as I'd like to be, even though I'm a vampire. I had moved back to Tanzania in 2010. I was running my own like online marketing agency. I was doing that. And then I moved out of my mom's crib and I moved into my own place. And then I moved into this new office block. And then I had this idea to start a cosmetics business, a beauty business. This is the business that I reference periodically when I tell you guys I used to have a boutique. And the business was starting to gain traction. And then my mom helped me with some seed funding to grow that business. The business was really taking off. We were getting a lot of clients from all over the country, from all over East Africa. We opened a physical store. Things were really happening. Now, a few like months after things were like really popping, right? We started experiencing some challenges. And then a few people who used to work for me basically created this like frivolous legal challenge against my company, and they were doing all kinds of horrible things which we're not going to go into this video. And I had to defend the company, and they were literally, it was like me and two other employees who were not involved in this like frivolous legal challenge. There were at least like 7 employees who were involved in it, something like that. And anyway, long story short, they lost the frivolous legal challenge that they brought against me, and it was quite a humiliating loss for them because it was like a public judgment. And on principle, I defended the company and I defended myself because I didn't do anything wrong. And I remember when I was talking to my mom and Edwin about it, I said, if I had done something wrong or I had wronged someone, I would take accountability and responsibility. But I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm going to defend myself in court because I didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, as it happened, I won, they lost. They had a humiliating, crushing loss. Without going into a ton of detail, it was a very humiliating loss for them. But around that time when that happened, there was a friend of mine who, when my business was soaring, succeeding, ascending, things were going super, super great with my business. One of my friends was similarly experiencing a great moment in her career. And when I was going through this really, really tough time, going through this legal challenge where I literally had to dig deep and really dig deep in my faith in God. It tested my faith in God. It tested everything that I believed in terms of like believing in myself and believing that I was going to, get through this. She was going through a really great time in her career. So she was a very close friend of mine. She's still a really close friend of mine. And I had to still be really supportive of a friend who was experiencing great career success and who had also supported me as my beauty business was succeeding and becoming super successful as well. And even though I was going through this really tough time with this legal challenge, I still had to not compare myself, you see where I'm going at with this, and not put myself like as a comparison thing, like, oh, well, she's doing really well and I'm going through a really tough time right now in my career. But I had to fight those urges to compare myself. And I'm really proud to say I didn't compare myself to her because I was so happy for her. Coincidentally, once all of that stuff was wrapped up, we actually talked about it. And she said that she was in pain because she wanted to celebrate her career success with me, but she felt bad because she felt like if she was in my shoes, she would be comparing herself. And I told her not to worry because I was so happy for her. And as it were, things wrapped up with that business. I successfully defended myself, and then I decided to move on onto other ventures, and I continued to grow my business footprint, and I'm still in business, and those people who brought that suit against me, they're eating dust. So I say that to say, you're always going to have challenges where you're going to feel the need to compare yourself. Comparing yourself, especially to friends, is really, really, really toxic and corrosive to your sense of mental like self-worth. And I know I sound like Tony Robbins at the moment. My husband's always laughing at me because he's always like, you sound like Tony Robbins. You should hear me when I give him pep talks, because he's like, oh, here she comes, here comes Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins has an island, okay? I would like to have one too. So I share that a very personal story, which I literally have never shared on here before, to say, don't compare yourself. because tomorrow is always going to be another day. And even if you're going through a really tough challenge in your life, there's always going to be another day. And as long as you have your health and your family, you're always going to be able to fight and live to fight another day. And that's exactly what happened with me. And I survived it. I launched other businesses that were even more successful, and I've done really well. And I'm very proud to say, like, literally next year, I celebrate 14 years in business. And those people who tried to take me down didn't prosper, they didn't succeed. And it wouldn't have benefited me to compare myself to my friend. What benefit would I have gotten? I was going through a tough legal challenge, but she was having success in her career. I can still cheer her on because I know the sun is going to rise tomorrow, and I'm going to fight through this legal case as I did. And of course, I had my mother's full support behind me. She was supporting me emotionally, and I also, at the time, Edwin was my boyfriend, and he also was supporting me as well. And it was sorted out in the end. So I say that to say, don't compare yourself, even if you're going through a tough time, because we're all human beings, we're not perfect. If you're going through a tough time, tomorrow is going to be a better day, okay? And as long as you have your health and your family, you're going to be absolutely fine. Another personal example that I have about why you shouldn't compare because everyone lives a different lifestyle is a few years ago, I was chatting to another friend. I made a mistake, and this is something which I won't be doing again. I made a mistake to mention a personal goal that I had at the time, and my friend wouldn't stop asking me about that personal goal, to the point where it was becoming really uncomfortable. She then achieved this personal goal. This personal goal is related to investments, right? And she achieved this personal goal relating to investments, and she would then be like, so when is it going to happen for you? So when are you going to do yours? Oh, I've already done mine. And I realized that she was then doing what the Glamazon who had sent me the message about the swimming pool was doing. She was comparing herself to me, even though I had mentioned the personal goal, not to boast or show off, but because I know that she had also mentioned to me that there were other things that she was doing. So I was like, oh, I want to do this thing relating to investments. And she's like, oh my God, I want to do that too. And then she went ahead and did it, and then was like, well, I've already done it. So like, when are you going to do yours? When are you going to do yours? When are you going to do yours? Okay, so with this friend of mine, I think you can see where this is going. We actually like stopped being friends as well. And definitely that was like one thing that I noticed was like the comparisons over this investment thing, this like personal investment goal, which I achieved eventually. It was kind of also kind of putting a little bit of a strain on our friendship, because eventually it was like we were talking a lot about it, but I wouldn't bring it up. She would be the one bringing it up, asking me if I've achieved it yet, have you achieved it yet, have you achieved it yet? And it kind of felt like she was kind of trying to compete herself, like she was competing against me. In her head, thinking, oh, she hasn't achieved it yet, I'm like further ahead than her. So comparisons at the end of the day, whether they're friendship comparisons, comparing yourself to a colleague or comparing yourself to someone else, like they just lead to heartbreak and disappointment. So don't compare yourselves to luxury influencers, luxury YouTubers, and luxury vloggers. In a lot of the cases, I think this is something that should be said. One of the reasons why I don't like when luxury influencers say things like, don't buy Starbucks and don't have Costa coffee, and don't like get your hair or your nails done. Yeah, I know, I got my nails done. I don't like when luxury YouTubers say those things, because even if you're someone who doesn't go to the hair salon and you don't do your nails at the nail salon because you don't want to, that is not going to be the defining reason as to why someone can afford a classic flat from Chanel or can afford a luxury holiday. Obviously this is about income and having a lot of income or coming from some degree of family money. The reason why I'm transparent about the fact that my mother helped me get one of my businesses off the ground is because it's unfair not to mention that. It's not fair to pretend to be completely self-made. I'm doing well with my companies today and I'm doing well with my businesses today, but there's no question that her financial support in the beginning helped me a lot on my journey in being a businesswoman, okay? So I think it's super important to mention those things so that people have a realistic idea. Maybe someone wants to do business and they don't have family support. It's going to be very, very hard without family support. It's not impossible. There are people who launch businesses every day and they don't have family support, but many people in the business community, many businesswomen and businessmen come from a place where a family member is able to help and able to offer financial support, which can help them get their businesses off the ground. This is the case for many people. It's just it's kind of like the big H thing. You know, people don't want to say how much they spent at Big H, Get a Birkin or Kelly. A lot of businessmen and businesswomen don't want to talk about the people who have helped them in the beginning with financial support so that they could get their businesses off the ground. It's really important not to compare, but it's also really important not to give people false hope. Telling someone, you know, don't get your hair and nails done, that's the way to save money to buy a luxury bag, and those are tips on how to afford luxury, that I don't think that's right. You know, I understand that, like, some influencers and vloggers want to seem relatable. There goes the R word again. But I think that's the wrong way of going about it. I think it's much better for people to be kind of relatively transparent. And in most cases with a lot of luxury influencers, they either have really high incomes from their day job, they've either inherited money or a mixture of both, and they have a rich spouse or partner who's also affluent and well off, which also plays a role, because if your partner / spouse is well off, that obviously can have an impact if that partner buys you presents or does nice things for you and all the rest of it. And I think it's just really important to be transparent on those things. Telling people like, oh, you can save up to buy a classic flat by not going out to eat out with friends. I think that's irresponsible, and I don't think that's right. Going out with your friends for drinks and for, you know, yummy meals and hanging out with your mates, and the few dollars you'd spend going out with your friends for a drink or for a meal, those are the things that make life worth it to me. And the memories you will have with your friends, you know, cracking jokes, drinking cocktails, having a yummy meal, that's worth way more than any Chanel bag, if you ask me. And that's worth way more than any Rolex, if you ask me. And it's worth way more than any Mercedes Benz, if you ask me. You know, so I'd like to see us, you know, let's keep things Gucci, okay? People are not buying these top tier luxury watches and luxury cars and luxury pret-a-porter because they're not getting their hair and nails done. People obviously come from affluent backgrounds and have supportive partners who are also wealthy, or they've also inherited money. It's really important to note this. So I hope that this video has been interesting for you. My sort of final tip, because I'm still kind of going on and on and on, I know, I'm sorry, but my final tip is, if you ever like feel weird watching someone's luxury unboxing haul, luxury video, I have a tip for you, and it's a bit Tony Robbins, but just bear with me. Open your notes app and write 1 to 2 achievements that you're really proud of from your career or your personal life, and just keep that in your notes app. When you're having like a day maybe where you don't feel too great about yourself, open that notes app and open the note that has your achievements that you're really proud of. All of a sudden, feeling weird about someone unboxing a 20k, 30k unboxing, you are not going to feel weird if you felt weird about it. I want to be clear, I don't feel weird about anyone unboxing those massive luxury hauls unboxings. They don't make me feel weird, but I know that some people like can't watch them anymore because it makes them feel bad about themselves. So I'm speaking to the people who can't watch them anymore. I personally enjoy watching them, and I really enjoy watching them, but I watch any unboxing. If it's one item or it's a ton of them, it doesn't matter. I watch anyone unbox anything because I find that interesting. But just remember, you have achievements and you have lots of things that I'm sure some people look at you and want to be just like you. So there's always someone with more, there's always someone comparing. So just take yourself out of this luxury comparison rat race and just focus on yourself, okay? It's really, really important, you guys. Don't compare yourselves to luxury influencers. You don't live their lifestyle. As I said earlier on in the video, don't put your morals, your values, and project them onto the influencer. It is not fair on the influencer. That person just wants to come and share the things that they've purchased or whatever. Let them do that. It's not for you to say that person shouldn't be spending. And just to that point about, you know, the recession and, you know, should people be showing luxury goods during the recession? If someone can afford to shop during a downturn, they should absolutely show those items if they want to. I'll be damned before anyone tells me how I can spend my money that I've worked for through grinding. You know, I'm sorry, I'll be damned before anyone could tell me what I can do with my money. If you want to show things that you've purchased and it's a downturn or it's a quiet time, you have every right to show the things that you want to show, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's wherever it is. And I think this is really important, because then if you tell like a luxury content creator that oh, you know, people are struggling, how can you post this stuff, you are moralizing on that person, and you're bringing your morals onto that person. That person didn't ask you for that. If you can't watch that content, you can't handle that content right now, for whatever reason, just don't watch that content. Unsubscribe from that YouTuber and just focus on the things that matter to you. There's always going to be people watching luxury hauls and unboxings. They are the most popular type of luxury video on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. They are the videos. I know people say, oh, people don't watch them anymore. That is not true. The moment a creator posts a luxury haul or unboxing, a ton of people are going to come, and lots of new people are going to come and watch it as well. Okay, so I really hope that you've enjoyed this video about I beg your pardon. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video about why luxury influencers are not relatable, and why that's okay, because no one is truly relatable, and relatability is a myth. At least from my side, I don't want anyone to tell me I'm relatable. Don't tell me I'm relatable. I just want to be myself. I would much rather if you saw me as someone who just keeps things Gucci, and when it pertains to luxury, I want to be relatively authentic. You can't know me personally. You can't know my personal views on things. I'm quite protective of my personal sense of privacy. I don't share a lot about my personal views, but in terms of luxury, I want to be able to just be authentic, and I want to be able to be free to post the things that I want to post. I don't want to be put in a box. You know, I love logos, I love colors, but yeah, sometimes, you know, I might like Brunello Cucinelli, I might like Prada as well. I'd love to share that with you. I can't wait to go on my trips to show you guys all the things that I'm going to see. You'll be seeing me traveling very soon. I don't want to be pigeonholed when I'm traveling. Let me show you the things I want to show you. And when I go shopping, the things I buy when I go shopping on my travels, I can't wait to show those to you guys, and I hope you guys will stick around for that as well. So remember, we just focus on ourselves, be happy for others, and don't compare. Comparison is the thief of joy. And also don't forget that with social media, it's a very curated, edited version of someone's life. You're not seeing the person when they're having a tough day at work. You're not seeing the person when they're having a fight with their partner, or maybe having an argument with a friend. You're seeing a very sanitized, cleansed version of their luxury life, and that is not like everyone's reality every day. Okay, I really hope you liked this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Follow me on all of my socials. Go join the email newsletter, because I feel like the email newsletter subscribers are the ones who get who'll be getting more exclusives from me first moving forward. So please go follow the email newsletter, and also go find me on Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I've got a Facebook group link below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. My next video on the weekend is the Chanel 23B preview. So we'll be previewing Big C Honey and her wig. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. I'm really enjoying posting at the moment. I've really just been, just loving posting. I feel like I'm posting the content that I love posting. I have dragon videos coming soon. I have Birkin babe videos coming soon. So I can't wait to share everything that I have coming with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the weekend in my next video.